We've lost 5 army jawans: Naib Subedar Anand Singh, Havildar Kamal Singh, Naik Vinod Singh, Rifleman Anuj Negi, Rifleman Adarsh Negi, all of them hailing from Uttarakhand. They were all travelling in an army truck yesterday in Katwa in Jammu when they were ambushed by terrorists. These are images of the wreath laying that took place earlier today in Dehradun, with the Uttarakhand Chief Minister leading the tribute from a grateful nation. These jawans made the supreme sacrifice, killed in action while they were travelling in a truck in Katwa of Jammu. The dastardly attack by terrorists has led to 5 Indian braves being shot dead. This was an act by Pakistani terrorists, and the army has, in fact, at this point, put in all efforts to trace the attackers. The terrorists are still at large. They've not been nabbed. The focus is right now on avenging the attack and defeating the evil forces, but also on investigating, probing into what led to this kind of an ambush on our forces.
Five army jawans killed in a terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir. The terrorists ambushed their truck in Machedi, a remote area in Katwa district, on Monday, leaving 5 others injured. The soldiers were on patrol when the attack took place. Naib Subedar Anand Singh, Havildar Kamal Singh, Naik Vinod Singh, Rifleman Anuj Negi and Rifleman Adarsh Negi are the brave hearts who lost their lives.
Bullets are lying here. So one can just imagine the situation that must have prevailed here at that point of time when terrorists carried out this attack. Vehicles have to slow down, vehicles have to move slowly on this road because it's a Kacha road, and the terrorists specifically chose this place because they felt that they could, inflict maximum casualties on the security forces.
Sources tell India Today the attack was carried out by Pakistani terrorists. Local guides helped the terrorists in doing recce and provided them food and shelter, according to sources. Sources also claim that terrorists used US-made M4 carbine in the attack. The driver was targeted first to stop the army truck from going forward. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has offered condolences to families of victims. National Conference Chief and former CM Farooq Abdullah has slammed Pakistan for promoting terror.
Terrorism किसी को मदद नहीं करेगी. अगर वो मुल्क जो इनको भेज रहा है, हमारा पड़ोसी, और ये समझता है कि इससे वो यहाँ की तब्दीली लाएगा, वो नहीं होगा. उनको ये देखना चाहिए, पहले ही वो बर्बाद हो गए हैं. और लड़ाई दोनों मुल्कों के लिए तबाही ही लाएगा, कुछ और नहीं लाएगा. तो इसको बंद करें, मेहरबानी करके इस टेररिज्म को बंद करें.
The opposition has launched a scathing attack on the Narendra Modi government over the attack.
इस प्रकार के आतंकी घटनाएं लगातार बढ़ रही हैं. सरकार दावा करती सदन के अंदर, लोकसभा में, राज्यसभा में, कि मामला बहुत बेहतर हो गया है, स्थिति नियंत्रण में है, वहाँ कोई अब गतिविधि नहीं है. लेकिन हमारे नौजवानों को अगर सीमा पार से शहीद लोग कर रहे हैं और उन पर घात लगाकर हमला हो रहा है, जाने जा रही हैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं सरकार को जवाब देना पड़ेगा.
The Kathua terror attack is the 7th in just 1 month. All of them in Jammu region. Bureau Report, India Today.
And we've got breaking news coming in. The National Investigative Agency is also looking into this particular terror attack. There's a team of the NIA that's reached the spot of this terror attack in Katwa of Jammu, where we lost 5 of our army jawans. Now, the NIA will be looking into the circumstances that led to this ambush on the army truck. The NIA is going to be investigating in detail the 4 major terror attacks essentially that have happened in Jammu in the last few months, and among those is also the Katwa attack. So essentially, agencies, the government taking this very, very seriously, because in the last 1 month alone, we've seen 5+ terror attacks, all of them happening in the Jammu region. Now, the NIA will be looking into this particular attack because we've lost 5 of our army men. And there are serious concerns about how these terrorists managed to infiltrate and reach all the way to Jammu, that too in Katwa, which is close to Himachal. So that is something that the NIA will be looking into. Sunilji Bhatt is joining us live from Katwa, getting us all the latest updates on the story. Sunilji, the NIA is also now investigating the Katwa attack. We're being told a team has now reached that very spot where the terror attack took place.
Well, Akshita, in the last 3 years, we are seeing a pattern that a number of terror attacks have taken place in the hilly areas of Jammu region, be it Rajouri, Poonch, Doda, and now the hilly belt of Katwa district, that is Bilawar. And National Investigation Agency, has been, coordinating the investigation in the previous terror attack cases. And now NIA team has also reached here to gather some vital clues from that particular spot, and it's clear that NIA is going to take forward this investigation. But what is important here to note that, Akshita, that time and again terror attacks are taking place in the hilly areas of Jammu region, and it clearly proves that now Pakistan and terrorists have shifted their focus from Kashmir Valley to the hilly areas of Jammu region now, and that is why terror attack after terror attack is taking place in the hilly belt of Jammu region. We are seeing a pattern, and after the abrogation of Article 370 and 35A, there was a major crackdown on terrorism, terror ecosystem, news was tightened around the separatists, their funding was choked, and as a result of that, the terrorists felt pressure in the Kashmir Valley, and Pakistan changed its strategy, decided to focus in the hilly areas of Jammu region because the terrain suits them there, and that is why they have chosen Jammu region to carry out.
Which is what we're seeing also now, Sunilji, because we understand that the hunt right now, the search for the terrorists continues. They've still not managed to catch these terrorists, nab them, neutralize them, because they're hiding in this hilly terrain.
Absolutely, Akshita. The terrain is a major challenge as far as counter-terror operations are concerned in the hilly belt of Jammu region. These areas are surrounded by dense forests and mountains. There is dense vegetation. At times, visibility is also low. And Akshita, as far as this terror attack spot is concerned here in Bilawar, it took me more than 9 hours to reach this particular terror attack spot. The road connectivity was not good, and it was a rough road, Kacha road. So one can just imagine that how difficult this task is for the security forces. And Akshita, even while we are talking, there is another breaking news that one more encounter has broken out, this time in Doda district of Jammu and Kashmir. There was a specific input that the security forces had, and based on that specific input, a massive search operation was launched in the forest belt of Doda district of Jammu region. And now we are learning from our sources that a contact has been established with the terrorists. A fierce encounter is on. 2 to 3 terrorists are, hiding in the jungle area. So it's clear that terrorists are, present in Jammu region's hilly areas, and as per our sources in the security establishment, as many as 40 to 50 terrorists are presently, hiding in the upper reaches of Rajouri,
extremely
Poonch,
worrying.
Doda.
That's extremely worrying what you're telling us, Sunilji. And I'm going to come back to you on that, on why we've been seeing this huge surge in terror incidents in Jammu. But let's also focus on another aspect, an extremely important one where we talk about this story, which is the fact that there were lapses clearly that has perhaps also led to this kind of an ambush, or rather made it easy for terrorists to target our forces. 5 glaring lapses that we've highlighted for you. The initial failure to actually detect terror movements at a time when we've seen multiple incidents of terror attacks in Jammu. The initial failure to detect terror movements is something that comes across as a glaring error. There was no road opening party for the army truck. Before the truck went in, there was no sanitization of the area, thereby putting all of these Jawans at risk. They were traveling in a truck that was a soft top instead of an armored vehicle. And remember that these terrorists were atop a hill. So from there, they had a direct view of the truck, soft top, which means they ensured maximum targets. Despite terror activity, this area was deemed peaceful. Now, there are several sensitive areas that our forces look out for, and there, of course, there's a lot more protocol that's followed. In this case, this area was still deemed peaceful despite the fact that we've seen terror attacks happening here. The area is closer to Himachal than Jammu, so there was no Jammu-specific security protocol. There's strict security protocol in Kashmir, strict security protocol in Jammu as well. But because of Kathua's location, there was no need, is what forces believed, for strict protocol to be put in place. And that's what perhaps also helped terrorists go ahead and commit this kind of an attack. I want to bring in Shiv Arur on this broadcast, particularly on these glaring lapses. Shiv, will there be an investigation into this? Because besides these 5 lapses, there's also a lot of talk of many other issues that have been pointed out. There were serious breaches and violations of protocol.
You're absolutely right, Akshita. The army confirms that all aspects of what you've just highlighted, which go to the very core of what happened in Kathua, will be part not just of the investigation, but follow-up action. It will impact, changes in standard operating procedures, even in this area. Now, this is a complicated issue, but the hard questions that need to be asked cannot be ignored. One, this is Kathua. One can talk about jurisdictions, how this particular area is closer to Himachal rather than to Jammu. This is close to the border. These were not Rashtriya Rifles soldiers, etc., etc. But the very fact that there's been heightened violence in the Jammu area and in Kathua particularly leaves no room for doubt over whether there should have been the applicable standard operating procedures which you listed, which include road opening parties, using an armored vehicle, possibly the use of drones, etc. One can argue about how this did not come under the Jammu Corps, the 16 Corps, but under the Himachal Corps, which was considered a much more peaceful area. But terrorism does not look at geography. It does not look at jurisdiction of units of the army. It strikes where it is able to strike, and that is what's been demonstrated here. So the questions, for the government, for the army, for the leadership in this particular area are very, very urgent, because it's not just about the terrorists being able to strike at will. It's also now about making those changes as quickly as possible, because remember, this is an area where the army is deployed in large numbers. There could be more targets out there, and very importantly, not just about the changes, what is India's response going to be, Akshita?
And unfortunately, we're learning this the hard way, that there were serious violations of protocol and that perhaps there should have been better sanitization. Just one more question, Shiv, particularly with the fact that you had all of these soldiers traveling in a soft-top truck, which made it all the more easier for terrorists to ensure maximum casualties in their ambush attack on that truck. Now, is that a violation of protocol? What is the protocol essentially there? Was it a lack of armored vehicles that were available to our forces? What really led to them traveling in a soft-top truck, and what was clearly a terrain that wasn't suitable or friendly to their travel?
In fact, it was not a violation of protocol, which is what makes it even more disturbing, Akshita. The fact that, an armored vehicle and a road opening party was not standard operating procedure in Kathua because it did not fall under the Jammu Corps, because it was closer to Himachal and came under the jurisdiction of the Himachal Corps, meant that not using a better protected vehicle, not having a road opening party was not a violation of protocol. So that is the sinister paradox in what we are dealing with here. The fact that this should have been the standard operating procedure. Why was it not the standard operating procedure? Why was it not changed despite alarming reasons to suggest that the entire Jammu area is part of a larger organized design to escalate violence by Pakistan's ISI? Why were these small jurisdictional issues, left to be exploited? This is also a signal, one last point, Akshita, that the terrorists are not only aware of where the loopholes are, but they're able to strike at will. They are aware of where these standard operating procedure blind spots are, and that's the reason they're able to strike in this manner.
Very, very true. Shiv, thanks very much for joining us. Hopefully, we'll see a detailed investigation into this as well. And there will be a relook into the protocol that's put in place, especially keeping in mind that Jammu now seems to have become a sensitive terror zone. And I want to bring in Sunilji on this. Sunilji, from June 9th to July 8th this year, 15 lives have been lost as a result of the spike in terror activities in Jammu alone. And, what's being done right now by forces, by authorities to counter this? Jammu was always considered to be relatively safer because it was harder for terrorists to come through to Jammu. That's no longer the case. In this particular case itself, these were Pakistani terrorists.
Absolutely, Akshita. In the recent past, we have seen that CDS General Anil Chauhan visited Jammu and Kashmir. He visited Jammu region, and Army Chief Lieutenant, who was earlier, Vice Chief of Army Staff, and earlier to that, he also served as the Northern Army Commander, which is based in Udhampur district of, Jammu and Kashmir. General Upendra Dwivedi, he also visited the current Army Chief to Jammu region, and the priority was to formulate a strategy to deal with this new wave of terrorism. Security agencies are taking this matter very seriously. They are, developing a new strategy, but somehow, given the terrain of this entire region, it's proving to be a major challenge, and that is why, these terrorists are able to carry out these dastardly terror attacks. And one important point is, Akshita, that there are some handful of local overground workers of these terrorists who provide them logistics help, and that is.
Apologies, we've lost the connection with Sunilji Bhatt, who's tracking the latest from Kathua. He was explaining to us the steps being taken right now to kind of address the fact that we're seeing this huge spike in terror activity in Jammu. It's extremely worrying for the administration, for the central government as well, because just weeks ago, during the elections, we saw a huge and very positive sign in the fact that the voter turnout had drastically risen in Jammu and Kashmir. And that's something the Prime Minister also referred to, saying that he believes it's one of his biggest achievements, biggest accomplishments to see that kind of voter turnout. Let's play out for you exactly what the Prime Minister said about the positive changes seen in the valley, which is why the central government will be saying that looking at the rise in terror cases right now in Jammu, they want to nip it in the bud, crack down immediately.
मोदी जी, 2014 से पहले भी मैंने कश्मीर कवर किया है, उसके बाद भी किया है, और केवल एक शहर और डाउनटाउन नहीं बल्कि बॉर्डर्स तक, जहां पर लोगों को लगा कि वो इंक्लूसिव हो रहे हैं, वो जुड़ रहे हैं मुख्य धारा के साथ। फिर 370 आया, उसके बाद से पत्थरबाजी नहीं हुई, हड़ताल नहीं हुई। श्रीनगर में क्या कमाल की वोटिंग इस बार हो गई। पर एक बहुत बड़ा धड़ा है जो कहता है कि बताइए हमसे राज्य का दर्जा ले लिया है। आप जम्मू कश्मीर की जनता को कुछ कहना चाहेंगे?
पहली बात है कि मेरे इस चुनाव में आपने सवाल पूछा होता तो मुझे अच्छा लगता, लेकिन आप लोगों ने नहीं पूछा। लेकिन मैं आपने विषय निकाला, इसलिए मैं उसमें से सवाल भी पैदा करता हूं, जवाब भी देता हूं। इस पूरे चुनाव में मेरे लिए संतोष की पल कौन सी? तो मेरे लिए संतोष की पल है श्रीनगर का वोटिंग, क्योंकि इसने इस बात को थप्पा मार दिया कि मेरी नीतियां सही है। मैं कोई डिस्क्रिमिनेशन नहीं करता हूं। मेरी सरकार धर्म के आधार पर भेदभाव नहीं करती है। जहां तक राज्य का दर्जा का, हमने पार्लियामेंट में प्रॉमिस किया हुआ है और हम उस पर कमिटेड हैं। हाँ, हम सफल होना चाहते हैं। सफल इन द सेंस पॉलिटिकल पावर में नहीं, स्थितियों में। और पहले हम पर क्या गालियां पड़ती थी, आपने इंटरनेट बंद कर दिया, चारों तरफ होलना मीडिया में। हम जाते थे मीटिंग में तो आप लोग मिलते थे तो इंटरनेट बंद कर दिया, कौन सा लोकतंत्र है। गालियां खाई, लेकिन मेरे कश्मीर का भला मैंने किया है। मैं दूर का देख सकता था, आप 24 घंटे चैनल के लिए देखते थे, मैं देश के लिए देखता था। और इसलिए मैं इंटरनेट की गालियां खाने के बाद भी, इंटरनेट बंद कर करके भी मैं नौजवानों को गलत रास्ते से बचाने में सफल हुआ। दूसरा मेरा संतोष है, अब 10 साल का समय लगा लीजिए, मानो 2004 से 2014 कितनी माताओं ने अपने बच्चे खोए होंगे। 2014 से 24 कितनी माताओं के लाल बच गए। जीवन में इससे बड़ा संतोष क्या होता है जी।
So that was the Prime Minister talking about how, the voter turnout in Kashmir was something that was hugely positive for him. And hopefully, of course, the government will focus now on ensuring that the terror incidents in Jammu are immediately brought down, especially because elections have to happen in Kashmir this year. We'll be tracking all the latest of what's happening in Jammu and Kashmir and this worrying surge of terror cases.